Lee Min-ho's secret statement revealed. Is Song Hye Kyo the hidden message's target? What if the words he never meant to say out loud were finally exposed? And what if they were meant for her? The one everyone's been talking about? Stay with Red Carpet revealed as we dive deep into the mystery that's sending shockwaves through the industry. It began as an ordinary press interview, cameras flashing, reporters jostling, fans screaming behind barricades. But amidst the chaos, one single statement slipped through Lee Min-ho's lips, quiet yet thunderous in its aftermath. There's someone I still owe the truth to. The room paused. Eyes darted. And within minutes, speculation exploded. Who was he talking about? Why now? Was it just a vague sentiment? Or a buried confession rising to the surface? For fans who followed Lee Min-ho's glittering career, and his once rumored connection with the queen of K-dramas, Song Hye Kyo, the implications were impossible to ignore. Some called it coincidence, others called it a crack in the armor. But for those paying close attention, this wasn't the first time Lee Min-ho had dropped a clue. Whispers of the past. Understand the weight of Lee Min-ho's statement. We have to go back, not just to his recent interview, but to the silent spaces between the headlines over the last decade. In 2022, long before the current media storm, rumors began to swirl after Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo were both spotted attending a private film industry dinner in Busan. Though they arrived separately and no photos captured them side by side, industry insiders whispered of a strange tension in the air, an almost too careful distance between them. Then came the Cannes Film Festival. Both actors were in attendance, both walked the red carpet, and both avoided each other like ghosts from a story never written. Still, no one had proof of anything. That is, until Lee Min-ho made that statement this year. I owe someone the truth. A sentence so simple, yet it shook the foundation of fans' beliefs. A hidden thread in every interview. It turns out, if you go back and watch Lee Min-ho's interviews from the past 3 years, you'll notice a recurring pattern. Every time the reporter asks him about love, his smile falters for a split second. He deflects. He jokes. He changes the subject. But in an interview last year with Marie-Claire Correa, he slipped again. There's someone I wanted to reach out to, but I wasn't brave enough then. When asked if that someone was in the industry, he simply nodded. Back then, no one pressed further. But now? The dots are starting to connect. Song Hye Kyo's name is on everyone's lips again, not because of a new role or scandal, but because, for the first time in years, fans believe she might be the woman behind Lee Min-ho's silence. A moment caught on camera, at a recent awards show. The atmosphere was electric. Lee Min-ho was being honored for his role in a blockbuster drama. Song Hye Kyo received the grand prize for her powerful return to television. For most of the night, sat far apart, separated not just by tables, but by a complicated history the public still doesn't fully understand. But when Song Hye Kyo took the stage and began her acceptance speech, cameras briefly caught Lee Min-ho watching her, eyes unmoving, lips slightly parted. It wasn't admiration, it was something heavier, something regretful. As she finished and bowed, he clapped, not with the usual enthusiasm of a colleague, but with the reserved, bittersweet energy of someone watching what could have been. Netizens didn't miss it. The moment went viral. Did you see his face? One fan posted. That wasn't just respect. That was remorse. Song Hye Kyo's reaction, calculated or candid? Following the awards show, Song Hye Kyo was asked by Elle Korea if there was anyone in the industry she regretted losing touch with. Her response? Some people leave, not because they want to, but because they don't know how to stay. No names. No confirmation. Just a sentence that felt like it carried decades of meaning. And fans instantly connected the dots. Could she be talking about Lee Min-ho? Was this her answer to his quiet confession? Was this the emotional exchange they never got to have in person, now playing out in carefully chosen phrases through the media? Insiders weigh in. One former stylist, who worked with both actors on separate shoots, revealed anonymously. Rarely in the same place, but when they are, it's tense. Not hostile. Just unresolved. Another crew member from a fashion campaign back in 2019 claimed, he kept checking her arrival time. They never spoke, but I got the feeling he was hoping she would. There was no scandal, No confirmed dating history. No official reason to believe these two stars were ever romantically involved. And yet, these moments, these whispers, these subtle pauses, they suggest a story far more complex than meets the eye. The unsent letter theory. Online forums have resurrected a now viral theory that Lee Min-ho once wrote a letter to someone he loved, but never sent it. A story he mentioned vaguely in a magazine interview years ago. Sometimes, writing is easier than speaking. But even then, I couldn't send it. That letter, some now believe, was meant for Song Hye Kyo. Made videos and blogs have compiled timelines, matching up Lee Min-ho's quote with Song Hye Kyo's personal milestones, such as her divorce, her hiatus, emotional interviews. Was it that Lee Min-ho wanted to comfort her? To confess something, or to say goodbye to a chance that never fully bloomed? The internet exploded with speculation linking his statement to Song Hye Kyo. The anonymous stylist who once worked with both actors came forward again, this time with something far more direct. People always assumed they were just acquaintances, she said. But I remember a day on set when Song Hye Kyo received a bouquet. She didn't say who it was from. The look on her face? It wasn't casual. She looked like someone who had been waiting for that bouquet for years. When pressed if she believed the sender was Lee Min-ho, the stylist hesitated, then answered softly, "I think so." But it was too late by then. The manager slipped, in a surprising turn. One of Lee Min-ho's former managers, speaking under condition of anonymity, shared a memory that has since gone viral. He had just wrapped a project and asked us to keep the car running. Said he was going to deliver something himself. Came back 15 minutes later, didn't say where he went, but I saw him holding an envelope, still sealed. That was in late 2021. Not long after, Song Hye Kyo entered a period of complete media silence. Some say she was dealing with personal issues. Others now believe she may have received something that shook her more than the public ever realized. Song Hye Kyo's private journal, What Was Found. A popular fashion magazine recently featured a behind-the-scenes segment about Song Hye Kyo's creative rituals. A close friend of hers, a makeup artist who has worked with her for over a decade, accidentally revealed that Song often writes in a small, leather-bound notebook between takes. Shocked fans wasn't the journal itself, but what was momentarily seen in a still photo taken from the dressing room. On one page, partially visible. What if he had said it sooner? That single sentence sent waves of speculation crashing through fandoms around the world. Who was he? What was it? And why does it feel like a response? Reunion that almost happened. According to internal sources from a luxury brand campaign, both Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo were slated to appear together in a special international advertisement last year. The campaign fell through, publicly. It was due to scheduling conflicts. Privately, however, one executive shared this. She declined first. Then he backed out. Was almost like neither wanted to be the first to admit they couldn't handle seeing each other. Imagine the weight of years, regrets left unsaid, timing never quite right, and a world watching too closely. What happens when two people who may have once meant everything to each other are now afraid of what one look might reveal? Behind the scenes of the press conference. At the now infamous press conference where Lee Min-ho made his vague yet powerful confession, one reporter from Dispatch claims that after the cameras stopped rolling, Lee lingered in the hallway outside the venue. He didn't speak. He didn't take calls. He simply stood there, staring at the ground for nearly 10 minutes. I've seen him do hundreds of press events, the reporter said, but I've never seen him that still. It was like he had released something he couldn't take back, and was waiting for the world to respond. Song Hye Kyo's Instagram post. Coincidence or code? Just 2 days after Lee Min-ho's statement went viral, Song Hye Kyo posted a photo on Instagram. It was a simple shot of the ocean, captioned, "Some waves never truly leave." It wasn't a promotional post. It wasn't related to any project. It was just there, and it felt like a response. Fans flooded the comments. Is this for Lee Min-ho? Are you the wave or the shore? If this is your way of answering, we hear you. The post gained over 2 million likes in a day, the fastest on her profile that year. An old interview resurfaces. In a long forgotten interview from 2015, Lee Min-ho was asked what kind of love scared him most. His reply: the kind that feels like it started in a past life and never really ends. 8 years later, his words feel like a prophecy. And fans are now rewatching every clip, every award show, every shared silence between him and Song Hye Kyo, searching for signs they missed. A final message, sent, not spoken. Just days ago, news broke that Lee Min-ho's agency had delivered a personal letter to someone important from his past. Though the recipient's name remains undisclosed, sources close to the actor say the letter was written entirely by hand and delivered privately, without media involvement. No photos. No press release. Just silence. And sometimes, silence says more than any headline ever could. What happens now? Neither Lee Min-ho nor Song Hye Kyo have issued an official response. But the world no longer needs confirmation. In every glance, every word carefully chosen, every pause too long for comfort, there's something unspoken between them that feels painfully real. Maybe they were never lovers. Maybe they were just two souls who met at the wrong time. Maybe, just maybe, this is the beginning of something new. A rekindling, a reconciliation, or simply a farewell that finally brings peace. Fans respond: it was always her. Online communities are united in one sentiment: it was always her. Tweets flood the timeline: if he loved her in silence all these years. That's the most tragic love story of all. We don't need confirmation. We feel it. Sometimes the love that breaks us is the one that stays the longest. Red carpet revealed final thoughts. In a world where every smile is scrutinized and every gesture dissected, it's rare to see something that feels this authentic. Min-ho didn't say her name, but maybe he didn't have to. Song Hye Kyo? She may never confirm the truth behind the waves she spoke of. But the world is watching, and hoping, that whatever was left unsaid between them, will finally find its voice. Till then, we leave you with this: some love stories aren't written in scripts or sung in ballads. They're carved in silence, and only those listening closely ever hear.